In a previous video, we talked about how stress is exhausting. Whenever you find yourself in a stressful situation, those stress hormones, adrenaline and cortisol, get secreted. It increases your blood pressure, your pulse, your breathing, your glucose, and then the body has to respond to counter that to bring it back down, and all of this is exhausting. So if you find yourself in a stressful situation that you want to change, then I invite you to think about a situation that happens over and over again, and I'll give you some tips. So by that I mean something that happens over and over again. I think of the 1993 movie Groundhog Day. Do you remember that, with Bill Murray and Andie MacDowell? And maybe you weren't around in 1993, but it's oftentimes viewed on late night TV. But in the movie, Bill Murray plays this newscaster who's covering Groundhog's Day in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, and he finds himself in this time loop where he has to relive the same day over and over again until he gets things right. And so I want you to think of a situation that you keep repeating over and over again that you want to get right. Maybe it's something that happens with a significant other or a kid. Oftentimes this is where the situation is. Or maybe even an inanimate object, like you get upset about the weather or traffic, or maybe whole groups of people like politicians or crazy drivers or rude people. But think about a situation in which you have the same reaction every single time and you want to get out of that time loop. The first step is to increase that time between when it happens and when you respond. Now, Mom said to take a few deep breaths, maybe count to 10. Excellent, excellent idea. If you're typing on an email, maybe don't hit send quite so quickly. Sit on it for a bit, take a break, come back to it, reevaluate it. If you're talking with somebody one-on-one and looking in their eyes just builds up that anger, don't give them eye contact. I know that people think, oh, of course you have to give them eye contact. But you know what? Try this out. It actually does work. You can look somewhere in their face and they will still perceive that as eye contact. They won't be able to tell. So maybe there's something interesting on your face that you can look at instead of their eyes. You know, their eyebrows going up and down. Maybe count the freckles on their face. I wonder how many people do that to me. Maybe they've got a booger hanging out of their nose. You know, and sometimes as they take a deep breath, it goes up and down. That's always fun to watch. Redirect your energy. A woman shared with me that she used to clench her hands and then her anger would be visible. So she started redirecting her energy to her big toe. Sounds kind of strange, but it actually does work. So she'd feel the sensation of her toe instead of feeling it in the rest of their body. Kind of interesting. Let me know what works for you to lengthen that gap between when something happens and when you respond. This is Dr. Joe. I'll talk to you tomorrow.